Sales pages. This is a really exciting topic, not least of all because I love writing sales pages. And I think at this point in my career, I have written hundreds of sales pages for a variety of industries. Long form, short form, every form in between. I've written a lot of sales pages for a lot of different products and services. Anyway, it's a topic that I love talking about, and it's a topic that I feel pretty confident in my knowledge about. That's not to say that I don't continue to learn, because I do. I talked about this in another video. It is so important in any industry, including the creative industry, that you continue to learn things, right? So I would never presume that I know everything that there ever is to know about writing a sales page. I continue to educate myself about not only what should be included in a sales page and how different sales pages perform, but also the type of copy that you need for sales pages, the type of CTAs that work for sales pages. So keep in mind that everything that I am discussing in this video is what I have found to work most consistently over time for the last however many years that I've been doing this, 10 plus. I won't age myself. So, sales pages. The number one question that I am asked about sales pages is if a long form or a short form sales page performs better. I've written a lot of both. The interesting but very real truth is it doesn't really matter, which I know is just mind-blowing for those of you who get really wrapped up in writing your sales pages and make them really long, and you include all of the things about the thing that it is that you're trying to sell. Not that that work is going to waste. I understand that it is your baby, but in the grand scheme of things, in all of the years that I have been doing this, very, very rarely has it mattered the length of your sales page. And I feel like that trend is going to continue, because here's the truth. Today's marketing landscape is very different than it was even just 10, 15 years ago. People can follow you anywhere, right? So you've got people that are following you on social media. You've got people that are on your email list. Maybe you have people that are coming to see you speak. You have people that have read your book, whatever it is. There are a lot of different ways that people can get to know you. So for the mass majority of people that land on your sales page, they're already familiar with who you are. They're already familiar with what your product or service is, and they may already even be familiar with your price points. So by the time they land on your sales page, they don't really need any of that information. They're just in decision-making mode. Is this something that I want to invest in now, right? So in today's market, you don't need to spend a ton of time on a long, informative, super complicated sales page. You can keep it really simplistic, and the truth is you're going to get about the same conversions. There are obviously exceptions to every rule. I have A/B tested a longer form with a shorter form on a particular topic. For instance, one that I did recently was for a coach who was launching a program. This program was geared toward women who were kind of entering that mastermind space. So it was really kind of their first big investment in themselves. And in that case, the longer form one, that is the sales page that had more information on it, actually performed just a little bit better than the short form one. But again, that's an exception to the rule. So important to keep in mind if you're wondering, long form, short form, what do I do? There's your answer. Another really important thing that I want to talk about is the importance of keeping your sales page simple. So again, in today's market, we get a lot of conflicting messages about how our copy should stand out from the crowd and how standing out is the only way to get your product or service seen. Stand out from the sea of sameness, right? I'm sure you've heard that. That is true. You do need to stand out, but a lot of people try to apply opportunities to stand out to their sales pages, to their copy, to their calls to action, and it really just jumbles your ultimate message. So, if, for instance, on a sales page, you have a CTA button, and instead of saying, buy here or get it now, you have something like, yes, please, or I totally want that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There is an audience for everything. However, you have to keep in mind that that is not the easiest to navigate from a user experience perspective. And if people are confused, they leave. So you want to make sure that when you go through your sales page, it is as clear as humanly possible. You want to keep your copy very simplistic. You want to keep it very straightforward. You don't need to necessarily try to stand out with your copy on your sales page. Again, keeping in mind that short form versus long form, a lot of people aren't even necessarily reading much of the content that you're putting on a sales page. There will be the occasional person who reads every single panel, but most of us are going to skip over parts and pieces, and we're just going to read the things that are bigger. Which brings me to my third point about writing great sales pages. Your sales page should be able to tell an entire story using just your headlines and your subheads. What does that mean? If you were to take your sales page and you were to pull out your headline and all of your subheads in all of the different sections, you put it in a Word document and you handed it to your mother, your sister, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your best friend, whoever it is. If you were to hand that document to them and you were to say, what is it that I'm trying to sell? If they can tell you based on your headlines and your subheads, your sales page is in great shape. If they have no idea, you've got some work to do. Because as humans, we're scanners. So again, I believe that contributes to why long form and short form sales pages perform roughly the same, because at the end of the day, people aren't reading all of the copy that are on long form sales pages. They're still skipping from section to section. Your goal with the largest copy on your page, which is subheads, headlines, and calls to action, your CTA, your call to action buttons, that is where you want to make it clear what it is that you're selling and who you're selling it to and why they should want it and how much it costs. So, 3 things about sales pages that I want everyone out there to know. Don't stress about writing a super long form sales page. It's going to perform about the same as a short form sales page. So only put the energy into that long form sales page if you feel really passionate about it. And if you're not sure, you could always consult with a copywriter and tell them who your target audience is, tell them what it is that you're trying to sell, and ask them, do you think that a long form sales page is necessary for this, or do you feel like a short form sales page would work? Number 2 is, I remember number 3. Short form versus long form. You're keeping it simple. Let's just talk about keeping it simple for a minute. So making sure, that was number 2. Jeez Louise, what time is it? Where am I? Keep it simple. When you are writing your copy, you want to make sure that it is very easy to understand what it is that you are saying, what it is that you are selling. Make it very simple for somebody to understand where it is that they need to click in order to purchase, or what they need to read in order to better understand. The more simplistic you are in your language, the more likely you are to capture buyers. Whereas the more complicated you get in your language, the less likely you are to get buyers, because people who are confused are going to leave. Now I can't remember the third one. This is what happens. I used to have so many brain cells before I was a mother. And now they just leave me. I did impromptu speaking on my high school speech team. I was that nerd, and I was really good at it, which requires you to pick a random topic, come up with 3 points about it, and speak about it. And I could do that so easily. And now I can't keep a thought in my head. Okay. Short form versus long form, keeping it simple. I'm back with you, friends. Okay. I get so excited when my brain works. Okay, the last thing to keep in mind is to tell a story with your headlines. So you want to make sure that if you were to just pull all of your headlines, subheads, CTAs, stick them in a Word doc and hand them to some random stranger, if they could give you at least a vague idea of what it is that you're selling back to you, you have done a good job. If they have no idea, or if they're just taking a lot of random stabs in the dark, then you have some work to do, my friend. So those are some interesting things for you to know about sales pages. I dare not try to remember all 3 again, but I hope that you found this very helpful and insightful. Thanks for sticking with me, friends. I'll talk to you later.